In this video, we're going to look again at solving proportions, but this time we're going to look at ones that are a little bit more complicated. Remember from my last video that proportions are just two fractions that are equal to each other. So here's an example, or a couple examples. So solve. My first example here is going to be 12 over x plus 5 is equal to 8 over 5. So the first thing we want to do is we want to say, so I have this proportion, I have one fraction, it's equal to a second fraction. So just like in the last proportions, I want to cross multiply. So I want to multiply 12 times 5, right? So 12 times 5. And then I'm going to want to multiply the x plus 5 times 8. So on this side, we're going to have x plus 5 times 8. So 12 times 5 is 60. And then on the x plus 5 times 8, I have to take this 8 and I have to distribute it to both of these pieces to be able to get rid of the parentheses that where the x is inside, right? X here, it's trapped inside the parentheses. I need to get it out. So if I actually multiply those, I'd have 8x, and then 8 times 5 is 40. So right now I'm down to an equation where I have, it's much easier to solve, right? I no longer have fractions here. It's all numbers except for the x, just the one variable, so that's pretty easy. So if I look at this equation, the first thing I want to do is I want to take this 40 and I want to move it to the other side. So I'm going to subtract 40 from both sides. So a positive 40 and a minus 40 would cancel each other out. So on the right-hand side, I'm going to have 8x. On the left-hand side, 60 minus 40 would give me 20. And then now I'm going to divide both sides by 8 to get that x all by itself. So x is going to be 20 divided by 8. Now, 20 and 8 have stuff in common, right? They're both divisible by 4. So 4 goes into 20 5 times, and 4 goes into 8 2 times. So our final answer here is going to be x is equal to 5/2. And if you didn't know how to simplify this, right, you could put 20 over 8 into your calculator and hit the enter button, and then it will simplify it for you as well. So let's look at another problem. So this problem, so part B here, we're going to have x minus 5 divided by 15 is equal to 2 over 7. So again, I'm going to cross multiply. So I'm going to have this part here. So it's that x minus 5 times 7 equals this other side, which is going to be 15 times 2. So we're looking at that cross product again, that cross multiplication. And just like before, I have to take this 7 and I have to distribute it. So 7 times the x and 7 times the minus 5. So we're going to have 7x minus 35, because 7 times 5 is 35, equals 30. We want to get the x all by itself. So again, we're going to take this minus 35, we're going to add it to the other side. So plus 35 to both sides. And again, you'll notice when I'm doing all these problems, I really like to keep everything kind of lined up nicely. I think it makes it easier to make sure that I'm only adding stuff to each side once. And then 30 plus 35 is 65, and then 7x. And then I want to divide both sides by 7 to get the x all by itself. And we end up with x being equal to 65 divided by 7, right? And if you don't know if that can be reduced or not, you can always put it into your calculator and see what happens. 65 over 7, 65 and 7 don't have anything in common. So this is how the answer is going to stay. If they had things in common, if this was like a a 63 and over 7, then you could actually reduce it. But here you can't. So our final answer here is going to be 65 over 7. So the big takeaway to remember about proportions is that the easiest way to solve a proportion is to do this cross multiplication. And that works when you have one fraction equal to one other fraction. The easiest way to do it is to do that cross multiplication.